Ho, ho, ho again. It's Santa Jimmie this time. We've got a few more shows this year, but this is episode number 38 of season 1 of Taking It to the Nub. And tonight, I have the very special honor of talking to some of the folks that work behind the scenes at Drew Estate, Ryan Gallimore and Joe Groh. Joe is manager of digital media. Ryan Gallimore is a manager of customer engagement, consumer engagement. We're going to get into what that means in this show and how important that is to a company the size of Drew Estate. So let me bring in and welcome our guests, Ryan and Joe. Ryan, you're sideways.
Hey, Jam. Hey, Jimmy. How you doing, brother?
You're sideways, Ryan.
I'm sideways.
Yeah, you flipped yourself.
What do you mean?
There you go.
There you go.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How you doing, Jimmy?
So
Excited to be here, brother.
Yeah, what are you what are we smoking tonight and drinking?
Well, I'm starting off right now with a BOTL Lancero, which I believe Stogie Press gave a nice 96. I'm loving that canal. I'm just kicking back and relaxing to drink. Probably have a little something a little later on. How about you, Ryan?
I'm smoking. I haven't lit it up yet here, but I got the new European exclusive Bauhaus. Gotta give that a shot for the night. About to light this up. Nice Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, a Brazilian binder. It's beautiful. It's rolled differently. It's rolled for the European market. So I'm interested to try how this smokes.
Definitely gonna have to talk about that because I have a comment about that cigar I want to get some input on. I'm actually smoking a Manifesto Undercrown. Been in my humidor for a couple of years. Good time to do it. I don't know if I'm going to take it to the nub tonight, but we'll see how tonight runs. If not, I'll finish it at the end of the show. And I'm also pairing that.
I was going to say, Jimmy, we got it.
I'm pairing that with a little San Lucas Malbec. And then I'm going to finish the night off with this interesting Irish whiskey I found on the shelf. Have you ever heard of the punk rock band, Irish punk rock band, the Pogues, from years ago?
Yes, sir.
This is their whiskey. Just showed up.
Did not know they had a whiskey.
Neither did I until
I gotta try that. There you go.
So you were going to say something, Joe?
No, I was saying you're smoking a Manifesto. I didn't know we were going to be 3 hours tonight.
Hey, maybe 4 hours. Who knows? So Joe,
with old friends, it's fun.
You and I have known each other for a while. You've been working with me in what's called managing the digital media of Drew Estate. What does that mean? What exactly does that mean for those that are watching? What is your job responsibility at Drew Estate?
So I'm, for everybody who doesn't know me, I'm Joe Groh, digital marketing manager here at Drew Estate. And what I do is I control everything, how you interact with us digitally when we're not at events. So we're sitting here talking right now, things like Zooms. But for the general part, it's websites, social media, handle all of our media relations, our advertising. I do a lot of the copywriting for Drew Estate to the press releases that you guys read and you hear about find out about our products. And, things like the Drew Diplomat app and all of our technological innovations. So everything from that side comes from digital marketing. And that's kind of just a broad scope of what I handle here at Drew Estate.
So in this year of lockdowns and Zoom increases of people engaging, that job has gotten bigger.
Oh, 100%. And it's gotten a lot more interesting. COVID's forced a lot of companies and a lot of industries to adapt. And for Drew Estate, we hit the ground running. We weren't going to sit here and just say, oh, it's going away, or this is going to be gone in 2 weeks and just keep our fingers crossed and our heads down in the sand. We said, look, We want to get out there. We want to help the brick and mortar stores that are closed or may not be able to open to the public. How do we get their, our cigars in people's hands? How they help our retail partners out? So we created a bunch of virtual events. The virtual Zoom platform. We had a lot of things like Freestyle Live, where we've now been unveiling our products digitally to the consumers. And then in addition to that, we've created digital shows like Sticks and Sips, our weekly cocktail pairing show, which, we focus with. It's hosted by Frank Marino. And every week we bring in a new cocktail, we bring in a cigar, we talk about that digitally. And it's just how we can really engage with the people when they're working from home or when they're smoking from home. So it's been a really interesting year and a lot of, innovation here at Drew Estate.
So Sticks and Sips is one of my favorite of all of those shows. I do watch that. I enjoy that. I like my cocktails. I learned some things in every one of those shows. So I do enjoy how that runs. I especially enjoyed the one the other week with Uncle Nearest. That was beautiful.
That was a great show. I mean, Tracy was a fantastic ambassador for that brand. And it's just the history of that brand. And to really bring that to light to people and really bring that out to the consumers. It's one of the really cool things that we've been doing because, look, we can talk cigars all day long, but let's talk about the other aspects of cigars, which is cigar pairings, and really bringing that forward to people and bringing that to light and educating them, not just about, okay, here's whiskey and cigars or scotch and cigars, but here's rum. Here is different pairings that we do week in, week out, and about these brands and really how they work together. One of my favorite shows we did with the gin company. I was not a gin drinker before. I didn't like it, but listening to their, to the brand owners talk about their passion for gin. It was a company called St. George Gin, and it was awesome. And I went out and bought a bottle the next day because I learned so much from that episode. They made me, they educated me so much on it. So it was a great experience.
All right, hold on one second. I realize something, and I apologize for this for the last 8 minutes. This is stupid Zoom stuff. There's an extra button I was supposed to click to start the sharing on Facebook publicly. We're going to have to rewind here for a moment. So
oh, really? Because I see the live on Facebook button in the top of my screen, Jimmie. So
do you see it? On yours, it's going live, but it's only being broadcasted to me.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. There's an extra button. They added this 4 weeks ago, and it caught me by surprise. So I really, really apologize. We're going to roll this back and remember all those thoughts, and I'm going to get right back into it again. So I'm going to put you back in the waiting room.
No problem, Jimmie.
I'm going to go back in the waiting room. I'm going to redo this.
Take two. Another one.
Hey, this is the beautiful of live, right?
Another one.
Everybody's out there wondering what's going on. So we're just going to do this. This is driving me crazy. All right. And stop the live stream. Welcome and ho, 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 and happy holidays from yours truly, Boston Jimmie, a.k.a. Santa Jim. Tonight, on Taking It to Nub, I have a very special honor of talking to two of the greatest brothers of the leaf that I know, Ryan Gallimore and Joe Grow. These two are some of the behind-the-scenes workers at Drew Estate that make Drew Estate what it is today. So I want to bring in Ryan Gallimore and Joe Grow right now, and we're going to have a fun conversation. We're going to free roll this throughout the rest of the night. Gentlemen, How are you?
What's going on, Jimmy?
How you doing, Ryan? Joe, how you doing?
Great.
Good.
Good, my friend. Good.
Good,
Great to
good.
see you.
What are we smoking and drinking tonight?
Well, I'm lighting up a BOTL Lancero, 96 rated from our friends here at Stogie Press. Gotta love it in that Connecticut broadleaf. Not drinking anything yet tonight. I'm gonna probably be sipping on a little something later on. Just haven't decided what I want yet. I'm live here from my local lounge, Cigar Bundles in Miami, so I'm just enjoying the fine cigar.
All right, all right. How about you, Ryan?
Smoking the new Liga Privada Bauhaus European edition. Nice, and I'm pairing that with a little Woodford Reserve.
Nice.
The
Very
barrel
nice.
pick. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna talk a
Well,
little bit
cheers,
about
Jimmy.
that. We're gonna talk about that cigar in a little while on the show because I got some questions about that blend. Just something interested in my head.
Well, let me
I'm
do some
actually
research real quick.
smoking the Manifesto, which been in my humidor now for 2 years, I think. So I figured I'd break it out. I smoked the first one a year ago, so I figured why not smoke this one tonight for this show. And I'm pairing that with some Malbec. I think
Nice.
it's a proper pairing, right? So
Nice.
Malbec. And then a little later in the show, I'm probably going to switch over to this, which is a new Irish whiskey I discovered on the shelf called the Pogues. And if you know about the Irish punk rock band, the Pogues, which I think predates the Dropkick Murphys, this is their whiskey, believe it or not. And it's made at the Cork Distillery.
I had no idea they had a whiskey.
Now you do. Neither did I.
There you go.
I saw it on the shelf.
I'll have to find it.
There we go. So, Joe, let's start with you. I've known you for quite a few years, working with Drew Estate, doing my Stogie Press stuff, and you're responsible for digital media.
Yes, sir.
In layman's terms, what does that mean for a company like Drew Estate, and B, for just in general, because you get small companies, people do all of this stuff themselves, whereas you have a very special responsibility in that job title. So what does that mean? What do you do?
Well, thanks, Jimmy. So for guys who don't know me, name's Joe Grow. I'm digital marketing manager at Drew Estate. So what's that mean? It means I handle anything in the digital space that is touched by Drew Estate. So that can be our website, our social media, it's the Drew Diplomat app, and then it's also the technological innovation that we've been doing, things that we've seen post-COVID, like we're talking right now. It's how we interact with our consumers digitally. So all of that, it falls under me, along with advertising and things like press releases, or, working with our media partners like yourself.
Now, in today's world of 2020, you get involved with all of these shows that you've been putting on with Drew Estate, these Zoom events, and I would think that this has gotten a little bigger because of all the lockdowns. How's that affected your job?
Well, 100%, Jimmy. I mean, this year it's gotten very, very different. Where we had to pivot entirely. We're used to big Drew Estate events. You've been to them, where we cram into people. We get tons of consumers hanging out. Well, in 2020, so many of those brick and mortar partners, unfortunately, had to close because of state mandates were, trying to prevent COVID. So we had to pivot. We're not the company that's going to sit there and say, oh yeah, we're just thinking it's going to be 2 weeks and put our head in the sand and move on. No, we said immediately hit the ground running. How do we help our retail partners? How do we get in touch with our consumers? How do we interact with these guys who are smoking at home, who are able to still want to buy our product and talk with our ambassadors like Willie Herrera, Jonathan Drew? And how do we get them in front? So we started pivoting. We created these virtual, which are hosted through Zoom. We have our territory managers. They're hosting 2-3 a day, and you see them throughout the place. And that's just a chance to interact with us. And then in addition, we're doing different things like Freestyle Live, which is a quarterly program that shows all of our new swag coming up at events. It shows our new cigars. And then also you have things like Sticks and Sips, which is our weekly cocktail hour. It's hosted by Frank Marino. And it kind of shows hey, let's get into the different side of things. Like, let's talk not just cigars, but let's talk cigar pairings, things that guys really want to know and they want to understand more of, or try to find what really pairs well with a BOTL or a Herrera Lance, Herrera Brazilian Maduro. So we've been really pivoting, and we've been, trying to innovate this year. That's Drew Estate's motto, is always to be disruptive. So that's what we've been trying to do.
The Sticks and Sip show is one of my favorites. Okay, I watched that a lot. I especially enjoyed the show the other week with Uncle Nearest. I thought that was amazing. I learned a lot.
It was a great show.
Oh, yeah, Tracy she's an amazing brand ambassador for Uncle Nearest. And not only that, but I just love that episode because of the history. You learn so much about that brand. And that's kind of the cool thing about the show, is you're learning about the education behind a brand. It was an earlier show. It was with a gin company. And I was captured because of the brand owners, or small gin company, but I'm just not a gin guy. But they sold me on the brand. They sold me talking about the notes, the botanical gin, so much so that I went out and bought, I bought a bottle of St. George gin, and it's like, it's a great thing. And that's what you kind of get with this. And it's fantastic. And that's kind of what we're doing.
That's why we used to, guys my age years ago, we used to drink martinis, real martinis. That would be a gin martini with cigars. They really paired well because of those floral notes, like you said. So Ryan, so you and I, we go back a little bit more than Joe and I. I go back to you way before Drew Estate, but I always known you as a real fan of the brand. You professed that brand since the day I met you. Okay, you talked a lot about Jonathan. You've met him in the past. You had this great respect for what he did in the industry. So you just recently got a position at Drew Estate this year as the manager of consumer engagement. Right? What does that mean? What does that mean to Drew Estate? What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, it means for me, look, my family got taken care of. They looked out for the family. But for me, what it means is on a day-to-day basis, I get to work with Joe Grow and Anfan, our brand management team, with Jonathan, with the ambassadors, Willie, Pedro, Frankie Drinks. We're out there every day in meetings to figure out what we can bring to you at night. We talk about different, like, sticks and sips. How are we going to talk to our customers tonight? How are we going to get our friends to come hang out and smoke a cigar? And that's where it starts, right? It starts with just hanging out with the friends, and hopefully a bunch of people join us. And we seem to do a really good job at it. We bring swag to the table. We bring events to the table, giveaways, Subculture Studios in Nicaragua. John, put beautiful art on the map. So it's just fun. And I get to help oversee that. And just every idea is not one person's ideas. We work as a team, and I have a guy, I have Gary, Eric, and Taylor working under me, and they're in it every day, and they're trying to come up with something to make everybody out there happy. And it's fun to be a part of that. It's fun trying to make people have fun and enjoy their hobby. This is a hobby for a lot of people, and let's bring some entertainment to it. Let's bring some cool, unique fun and conversation, and be happy at the end of the day. So I'm really, really honored to be part of that team, and glad to be here.
So in that position, some of the things that you have responsibility for would be
barn smokers,
right?
Cigar Safari, all the events that you see the TMs go to. We help in designing the swag that you guys get on the streets, but it's a team effort. I oversee a couple of the pieces of the puzzle, but there's a lot of important people, including Joe, to help make stuff for the Drew Diplomat app. He's always coming to me with, Ryan, I've seen this influencer. He has this knife, and I'm like, Joe, I'm not going to get a $500 knife. And Joe's like, nope, we're giving away knives, and just it's really cool stuff, man. He got these the Benchmade knives you've seen on their T52. I think he has some other stuff in his lineup. So it's really cool to just be with a team that has ideas from every angle. It's not always just cigar focused. I don't know if you've seen the T52 stuff we just put out. I mean, it's quality leather. It's your classic man's event package. You're getting your toiletry bag, a wallet. You're getting luggage tag, a duffel bag, like a little weekender, everything you need. And some socks, some cufflinks. If you're going to get dressed up, you're going to look good. You know, if you're going away on the weekend, you're going to look good. And you can support T52. So that's something we got to work on, and it's been a lot of fun.
So other than the barn smokers, which I've been to and I've enjoyed here in Florida, and I was hoping this year I was going to get some more of them, but that didn't happen. The other event that I really enjoyed last year was the art event down in Miami.
The Art Basel event. That was a great.
Which is where this little guy came from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my first week at Drew Estate, Joe. Remember?
It was your third week, because I remember we had 3 weeks to put that event together, and it was amazing. It came together. That's Drew Estate. So it's funny. One of the things that whenever we interview somebody, and we asked Ryan this, and we've asked others that have hired on, one of the big questions is, how do you like hand grenades? Because something, how do you deal with a hand grenade? It's not like a real hand grenade, like, someone actually took it literally. It's like, put the pin back in. No, it means you have something that is going to happen. Something's going to come up, or an opportunity. What do you do with it? And how do you handle it? And it's, Ryan came in, he's getting a massive data dump of all the things that we do, what everybody's job is, what his role is going to be and how it's going to look, and meeting his team. And then we have this opportunity to host this amazing event at Art Basel with all the artists from the Cuba Arte project. And we had 3 weeks to put it together. Well, we put on a hell of a party.
It was
Jimmie,
a party.
that was a
good time.
That was a great night.
It was a fabulous event. I have another piece of art that I'm yet to get framed, but I just enjoyed going there, interacting with the artists, and their interaction, interacting with Jonathan, because Jonathan's always at these events, and Jonathan's a big art lover, right? I mean, doesn't he love art?
Oh yeah, he has a massive graffiti art collection. Ramel Z. He is one of the biggest graffiti collectors probably in the world.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he has some nice pieces.
So are we going to have, you canceled the barn smokers this year, you went virtual, then you canceled the virtual one, especially the one down here. I guess you basically canceled all of them. And where are we going to get back to that next year, you think?
Well, listen, our plan is always to run a barn smoker. First and foremost, we want to be there on the farm with our customers. And my man Gary does everything he can to make sure you're on that farm. This year, we started with hand sanitizer stations, extra bathrooms, and adding double tables. And when we started seeing the laws from city to city change daily, we had to really think about what can we do to make sure all of our people stay safe. And it went from hand sanitizer stations to virtual based on the laws changing city to city, with COVID restrictions. So, and again, first thing and foremost, how can we do this the safest way on the farm under the legal rules of the cities? And eventually it came down to virtual. Okay, this is the safest way to still talk to everybody. We made sure everybody got their swag this year. We didn't let anybody miss a dollar. We gave them all their money back. So the whole goal was to get people on the farm, whether in person, eventually virtually, but it wasn't safe. Right when we were going to go live in November, it was also, the elections were going on, and everybody was saying that the spikes were going really high. It takes a team of us to go up there and be on the farm, stay at hotels, and do everything. And there's camera crews and a lot of people involved logistically, and for everybody's health and safety, it was just right to cancel it. And so it was a hard decision. It hurt us because we put a lot of work into bringing that show to people, because we know how much people needed, that break in life. And so starting in January, we already have the plan on paper that we want to have barn smokers. So let's hopefully all these people out there, I know a lot of people got sick. We got to be really conscious of that. Let's hope this vaccine can get out there, and we want to be back on the farm. trust me when I say my guys are hungry to be on that farm. So, and we want to be out there with you guys and give you an event to remember. So
And they
keep
are,
following Drew Estate and stay tuned. The Barn Smoke, as soon as we can be allowed to do them, we're going to do them, and we're going to make sure we try to have the utmost safety precautions available to make sure you and your family can stay safe when you join us at a Barn Smoker.
and you have also we had issues with doing safaris a few years ago, not because of COVID, but because of political tensions in Nicaragua. Are we coming back with safaris someday?
Listen, we were able to do safari this year. I personally, I don't want to speak on the political stuff. That's above my pay grade. But the going to safari, that's iconic. That's Drew Estate. You know, John created something special there. He has one of the best resorts to stay at in Miami. There's a pool, Liga 9 pool on site. We got some cool rooms. You wake up smelling the paint from Subculture Studios, and you take a walk across the street and you're in the tobacco barns and you're rolling cigars and you're having a good time. It's Cigar Safari is one of the best things we do for the consumers, to take you right to the field, to the factory. And we do that with the partnership with Joya de Nicaragua. You know, we take you over there, show them their place, meet with Juan Martinez and the family if they're in town. They're always so gracious to have us over and show us their operation and let people blend in their atmosphere. And as soon as we can do it, whether it's, you know, health because of COVID, there's no flights right now. You know, there's some fundraisers going on out there for the hurricane. They just got hit by 2 Category 4 hurricanes in the northern region of Nicaragua. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on right there that we got to make sure everybody's safe. And we got to make sure our Nicaraguan people are safe too, because, you know, we can't be traveling over there taking illnesses to them and vice versa. So it's about safety for all the Drew Estate family, and the consumers are our family, and we want to make sure everyone's safe. That's the key. But we're going to do them. The minute they let us do them safely, we're going. It's no joke. Right. We're going.
Now, Joe, you when did you start working for Drew Estate, and what did you do before that job?
So I started working with Drew Estate in April of 2017. Now, what was interesting is before that, I'm actually an electrical engineer. I have a degree in electrical engineering with focused in software engineering. And before that, I worked at a healthcare IT startup company in Pennsylvania. And, you know, I got into cigar. I graduated in 2011, got into cigars, you know, heavily 2013, 2014, and started really, you know, getting involved with the community. And that, you know, led to eventually I was a moderator on our cigars with Anfan, who's our senior brand manager. And, you know, we did a lot of different things. We did a group blending with Espinosa, where we actually came down to Miami. That's where I met Sam Morales, the former director of marketing at the time, and got to really, you know, meet Jonathan, know Drew Estate a little bit even better. I mean, obviously I knew it from the consumer level. I was also doing work with Cigars for Warriors, which for most of your audience probably knows, but it's a 501c3 that collects cigars and sends them to deployed military all across the world. And because you got to give them the little piece of home that's the most requested item. So I was tangentially involved, you know, in cigars, but not working, you know, full time. I would actually be working as my software development, kind of working from the cigar lounge, so much so that they even paid me to do so a little bit just to help out, because I love talking tobacco. I love talking cigars. I was a cigar geek. I smoked everything in the humidor. Well, fast forward to 2017, an opportunity arose at Drew Estate. I saw it was posted. And, you know, it's one of those moments where you say, hey, can I follow my passion? Can I make a jump? I'm in a career doing, you know, software. I feel good about it, but I wasn't in love with it. I love cigars. I love this community. So we're sitting there and saying, okay, well, the opportunity arose. I see a job get posted. I call Sam, I call on, talk to him about the job, and I take the weekend to think it over. Well, that next Monday, my boss calls me in. He says, look, unfortunately, Joe, you know, we lost one of our big clients. We were a small startup, and, you know, the company's going to be kind of dissolving, so we're going to put you on pretty much half salary. And I said, that made my decision pretty clear. So, you know, it's a moment of fate. And, you know, it's a moment of, wow, this is something that there's no way that this just didn't happen for a reason. So I applied for the job, waited a couple months. Sam, do my interviews. Sam calls me. And then next thing you know, he's like, can you move down in 2 weeks? I said, can you give me 3 so I can pack up my life up here? And then I drove down to Miami with my dog, my cigars, and my clothes. Everything else was on a moving truck, but I took the most important things in my car and drove down. And I've been here ever since.
Wow. Now, have you ever been to a cigar safari
Yes.
before you were part of Drew Estate?
Oh, no, actually, I was not. Before I was a part, no. Unfortunately, I was not able to take part in one beforehand. But, I've been since. I've been wanting to go. I've been to Barn Smokers before. I just hadn't made a chance to, to get to Nicaragua, to go on safari, but I've been since. And I mean, it's an amazing experience. There is nothing like waking up on the veranda, smoking a cigar with a coffee, and overlooking the mountains of Esteli. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's just, you just feel at home there. You're in a completely different country, you're in a completely different space, but you feel at home. And that's one of the great things about Cigar Safari.
So Ryan, have you been to a cigar safari before joining Drew Estate?
Yeah, I was on one I was on one right before I joined Drew Estate, right before I got the call from Jonathan. I was on one about a year before that with Mike Laneza and the DE crew up in Michigan, Jeremy Schmitty, his father, a lot of good guys up there in Michigan. It was a good time.
So when you blended a cigar there?
I blended a cigar there, yeah.
How did that turn out?
It turned out good for me, but if you're referring to a contest, I lost.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So when you blend those cigars, everybody tries each other's cigars and they thumbs up, thumb downs them or whatever.
No, me and Mike Laneza, it was really me. I was talking crap the whole time to Mike. And I was like, man, I'm making a cigar way better than you. And we set some parameters of size, and body profile we were trying to hit. And we found a group of guys in Michigan, like a panel of 3 guys to sit down and blind smoke. I picked one, he picked one, and the panel got to pick one, like the middle person. And the 3 of them smoked at a cigar event. And then I had to take a very embarrassing photo that Mike Laneza might share with you one day of the championship. So,
all right. At this
he's
point,
watching tonight, so shout out Mike for that night. It was a great time. Thanks for taking me.
At this point, let me take a quick break here for a commercial here. I'm going to throw a little commercial advertisement up. Thank my sponsors that sponsored this show specifically. So to start with, we'd like to thank Frontline Cigars. So for those that know and don't know Frontline Cigars is a first responder-owned company based in the Chicagoland area. They are always striving to give back to those that serve, whether it be first responders or the military, through numerous charitable foundations. At Frontline Cigars, you'll find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands, in addition to a fine collection of cigar accessories and swag. There's always something new to try at frontlinecigars.com, like the latest Stogie Press Sampler, which consists of 5 90-plus rated cigars. You can follow Frontline Cigars on Instagram and Facebook for updates, and you can visit them at www.frontlinecigars.com. The show's also sponsored today by, move this out of the way, Terrazano Cigars. So Terrazano Cigars, they do it with passion. It's not just a word for Terrazano, it's a way of life. Terrazano premium handmade long leaf cigars are each rolled to the highest quality by masterful rollers. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every box. So next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Terrazano. You can follow Terrazano Cigars on Facebook and Instagram. You can visit their site at www.terrazanocigars.com. And of course, we were also brought to you by Drew Estate. And I'd love to thank Drew Estate for their sponsorship over the years. Drew Estate has been bringing the premium cigar experience and rebirthing that experience since 1998. Jonathan Drew started that company and has done amazing things, and he is one of the fathers of the modern cigar industry. So if you're looking for a great product, you can always reach out to Drew Estate. It has a complete line of cigars that fit almost any palate that you have. So thank you, Drew Estate, for sponsoring Stogie Press. Thank you to all my other sponsors. And let's get back to the show. All right.
Wait, you're filming this?
This is all being recorded.
Oh man.
You're on live, buddy, man. You're like
Can we start over? You got to share this one, Jimmie.
You're all good. I got you.
We're all good. Everybody good? It's good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Joe, you had some giveaways that we're going to be talking about for next
Yes, sir.
Saturday.
So, we found out we're coming on the show, so I got, it's Drew Estate. We gotta hook up, right, brother? So we got a couple things we're gonna give away. We got this beautiful Sweet Jane 15 count travel humidor. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Jimmie, you smoked that new leather rose?
Hold on a second. Put that up there.
Put it up.
Put it up again, Joe. I'm gonna mute
Look at
Ryan
that.
for a second so we don't get interrupted. All right, so talk, Joe.
So you got this beautiful 15 count Sweet Jane travel humidor. It's beautiful. You gotta need that, especially because look, Deadwood is on fire. Everyone loves the iconic imagery of the sugar skull of those girls. I mean, it is amazing. So you got to have that humidor. But I got something else special. And so we're doing 3 of these packs. I got a beautiful handcrafted Herrera Esteli Maduro, beautiful 8-finger pewter ashtray. So we got 3 of those packs. We're going to be giving away one of each, to 3 lucky winners on this show. Yeah, Jimmie, you got to tell them how to enter. But that is handcrafted from Nicaragua in Subculture Studios. So you got to win that thing. That's beautiful. I mean, it's heavy. It weighs a ton. It's Christmas coming up, so First Date's playing Santa Claus, even though we got Santa right here talking to me.
All right, so let me tell you how this is going to work, everybody. Those that are new to my show, if you haven't seen this, every Saturday after this show, so next Saturday at 1 o'clock, I run what's called the Taking It to the Nub Wheel of Wonderfulness. If you like, share, comment on this Facebook Live feed from now till next Saturday, your name will be on the wheel. We will then spin that wheel and we'll be giving away the prizes. But you have me very intrigued tonight because we don't normally always do it like this, but I'm going to do something special right now for one of those ashtrays tonight, right now. The first person that can answer this question, and you can't work for Drew Estate, so we got to watch that. If you're a Drew Estate employee watching the show, do not answer this question. What did Jonathan Drew go to college for? Answer that question. First answer wins.
Good question. Good question.
A lot of people don't know that answer. It's brilliant. I'm going to bring Ryan back in. I'll watch this going on here.
I went for the parties.
So he went for the parties. I thought he did he go for art? Because he loves art. No, we're gonna see who says what.
I always stopped going to the parties. I only stopped going to the parties when the scholarships ran out. I guess you had to go to class for them to keep paying you.
So let me put this back on a gallery view. So Ryan, you born and raised up there in Detroit. How do you like coming down here to Florida in the winter now?
I love it. Love it. If anybody ever lived up north, snow, shovels, jackets, 20 pounds of clothes, I'll sweat every day with a t-shirt on. I love it.
Now, how'd you,
Defrosting your car at 5 a.m. That is something I do not miss in the slightest.
You know, hey Joe, you know that time when you have to like start the car from outside so the heat like melts half the car?
Yeah.
And then you find out your car only lets you do it remotely twice, and you need to run it like 6 times, and you still got to go out there and turn it on. Never again.
Never again.
Roll the windows down, do 80. It's called central air.
450. 50 miles an hour, 4 windows down.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Love it.
When I talk about the winters in Detroit, I met you, Ryan, during one of the worst snow, probably the worst snow we ever had in Detroit in our life. We had 96 inches of snow. I came up there on an assignment, and it was 3 months. I came up in the dead of winter with my wife and my dog, and I was staying at some crappy freaking extended stay Marriott place. And I had to find a cigar shop because it was too damn cold to smoke. And I
said
walked
crappy.
in.
That's the nicest hotel in Detroit. He said crappy.
And I had to
right
go,
next to the Ritz.
I had to find a shop to go smoke at. So I looked up some shops, and the first one that I came across was this place called Danielo's. And Danielo's Cigar Factory, it was called. I thought it'd be pretty cool. I thought it'd have a little factory stuff in it, but it didn't. I walk into this shop, and I got a Red Sox hat on, and Ryan's got a Detroit hat on. And the first thing he says to me is, "You can leave." And the two of us broke some more balls, and we bonded very quickly. I like to think of Ryan as one of my adoptive sons. And we hit it off as friends. And I'm going to say this here publicly to the world. If it wasn't for Ryan, I don't think Stogie Press would be where it's at today. Because this man, as young as he was, and I think this is one of the reasons why he's important to Drew Estate, as young as he was, he knew so much about the premium cigar industry. He managed the shop there. And when he told me to go out to the IPCPCR at that first year after starting this adventure of mine, he walked me around that show and introduced me to more people than I would ever have met on my own. And he's this young guy, and I'm this old fart. I've been smoking cigars twice as long as he is old at the time, probably. And we hit it off. And because of that, Ryan, you really helped me a lot. And I thank you. I want to say that right here to everybody. I want to thank you very much for what you did to help build what I've got. And I'm sure what you're doing for Drew Estate right now, I see it. You're doing just as much, even more for Drew Estate to build them because you're passionate.
Thank you, Jimmie. And, listen, you and Diane have been like family to me. You've mentored me in ways that I needed answers to things outside of this industry, just personal relationship advice, family advice, business advice. You guys have always been there with an ear to lean on, and you've opened your home to me, and I've stayed there and had enjoyed Diane's cooking. So you guys are family to me. You know that you've been in my home with my kids, and I love you every day, man. You've helped my brand when I had it, and now with Drew Estate, we talk all the time. And you've always been there. You've always encouraged me. And I was young, man. I got in this. I was just 21. I think we met when I was 22, maybe 23 years old. And me and you are hanging out at Vegas and going to Alec Bradley Park, just doing stuff, man. And in New Orleans, we got to hang out and go to dinner in New Orleans. And it's been years, man. New Orleans was what, 2015?
Long time ago.
Yeah. So it's been years, and this journey, we've done it together. And I like to think that me and you've done it from the media consumer perspective side. I've done it from the sales inside, and together when we talk, man, it's just great stories. And I love it. And I really love how you stay true to the boutiques. You really look out for the people out there grinding, and you stay true to yourself with that. And I really respect it. As you've adapted, you brought in a lot of the mainstream. You support people like us at Drew Estate, the people that really want to work together with you. But the way you stay true to those boutiques, man, it's awesome because you didn't take a paycheck and run, and that was awesome, and I love that.
Thank you. All right, we have a winner, but before we announce the winner of this, and Joe, you got to come off mute because you got to chime in on some of it.
I got you.
All right, so these are the non-winners. So Kelvin Brown says welding. Steve Murphy says political science. Close.
Close.
Kevin Corbley's business management. Close. Michael Leonza says, I shot a lot of pool.
He works for Drew Estate. He can't answer.
Yeah, he can't answer. Kelvin Brown says construction. Mose or Steve from Frontline Cigars says engineer. Lou Kelly, business. Mark Levine, sociology. The winner is John Harper, law school. Yes,
There you go.
Jonathan Drew is a lawyer. He went to law school in, where is it, Albany? Rochester?
And it was up in New York. I think it was Rochester.
In Rochester. Yes, he is a lawyer. He's a very smart guy.
Well,
Very
yeah,
smart
but all the other things that everyone else named, that's all stuff he's done since, including construction. I mean, he built that factory from the ground up. So, he may not have gone to school for it, but he went to the school of real life after that one. He put it all to work. He's done all those things and more.
He built one hell of a cigar brand too, marketed the shit out of some really good cigars. And Nicaragua has produced some very fine sticks under his leadership.
Yes, they have. And his relationship with Joya de Nicaragua has been tremendous.
It was
Beautiful
that pairing
place.
that people didn't think, they didn't understand it. You have this very classically, Nicaraguan cigar brand, the first Nicaraguan cigar brand, the oldest. And what are they doing with these crazy guys at Drew Estate? Well, it's a compliment. It's that balance. It's that power between the two of us, and how we all lean on each other. Much like we lean on, Ryan and I are completely different in some aspects, but we lean on each other. We support each other, and it's that great partnership that's been ongoing with Juan and Dr. Cuenca and Jonathan. It's one that stands the test of time. How many people form partnerships that you see kind of just disappear over a year or two later? But to have something like this with us and Joya, they're family. We are one, and it's amazing.
So John Harper, contact Joe Grow on Facebook Messenger and send him your information. He'll get you that ashtray out. The remaining prizes we will give away on the Taking It to the Nub Wheel of Wonderfulness next week. And so tune in at 1:00 Saturday next week for that. You'll see how that all works if you're not familiar with it. What is your favorite Drew Estate release this year?
Oof. This is tough.
Oh, it's easy, bro.
You go first, brother, because then I want to see yours. You taking the cop-out method.
No, my favorite, I'll tell you, I smoked this cigar. I truly love it. I like Lanceros. I'm a big guy, but I actually really enjoy the Lancero cigars. And the new broadleaf that Willie Herrera dropped this year, that limited edition broadleaf, is, for me, a great cigar. I was smoking the samples of it. I love it. It's one cigar I keep going back to. It's a really good Lancero. Has a lot of meat on it, and I like going to that. This Bauhaus, though, this is fire, man. We needed this in my life a lot sooner. This is a great cigar for tonight. Pairs well with the Woodford Reserve. It's a very nice smoke.
So let me ask you, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I had a question about that. So we put out the press release just yesterday or today, whatever it was. And as I'm reading the blend on that, I don't know the details of the proportions of the leaf, but that blend seems very much like a year to rat blend.
I mean, look, Jimmy, there's some similarities in, a lot of the tobaccos we use with Liga Privada, especially in our Unico series. But the way that what's really important about this, I mean, think about Bauhaus. It's that, bringing that form and function to design. And that's kind of why we took the inspiration for the name of the cigar. How Willie blended this with careful placement on the leaves. That in a 4.5 by 50. I mean, I've been smoking a ton of these just because that size. That is for me one of the greatest sizes in that
Great
short
size.
Robusto. It's an amazing size, and it's a popular one that's why we picked it for Europe, because it's an aficionado size for over there. That's what they really enjoy. So for me, that's where this is. While the blends may be similar, it's really about, it comes down to that leaf placement,
Right.
Exactly what's used and the balance on it. It's a little bit different, but I'm telling you, man, that cigar, and I know we're talking about it, and everyone's sitting there probably complaining in the chat right now. They're like, well, we can't get it. We're not in Europe. Why are we talking about it? Well, we have to do something. There are aficionados over there. There are smokers over there that love Liga Privada. And we do a lot of, releases in the U.S. side, and they just, they don't make it over to Europe, or, they don't make it. So we have to do something for our international team, for those guys over there, for our European customers. I've gone to Intertobac a couple of years in a row now, and to sit there and interact with them over in Switzerland, in Germany, and smoke with these guys and break bread over a cigar. We may not have the language barrier, sometimes can be a little bit challenging, but you know what? We're bonding over the leaf. And that's one of the really cool things about that project. And I love it. So it's a great stick, man.
Going back to the question, what is your favorite release this year?
He tried.
So
he tried.
no, I wasn't ducking it. I wasn't ducking it. So I got two, because it's tough, because one was from the very start. It almost seems like a different year, but it was the Undercrown Shade Corona Pequeña. Again, it's about the size. I love that smoke. I love the Undercrown Shade blend. It's one of my favorites. So I just do that in the morning. It's a great morning smoke for me, or a nightcap. I love that size. And then I got to say this, just for personal reasons, it's Leather Rose, and it's not necessarily because of the blend. It's a great cigar, and I love the flavor of it. And I do smoke, a good amount of Deadwoods. But for me, it was the whole process, that moment where we released that on Freestyle Live, where we literally dropped a cigar that no one knew about, that no one had any idea was coming. And we had that moment where we just unveiled it to the world, in this case digitally, but we literally Jonathan just dropped it. And it was an amazing moment to see everyone's reactions, like, oh my God, where is this? Where I gotta get it? How do I find this? You're just watching people go insane over this. And it was such a cool moment for us. And it's a cool moment for the industry to have that excitement, that I'm always going to remember that release. I'm going to remember that night so well. And that was one of the cool things about it.
Very good.
I'm down to the paper here. I'm getting to the
nub
nub here, Jimmy.
Getting to the nub.
I turned my band over just so you can see I'm smoking it from the band at this point. It's so good.
Yeah, you're making everybody Jones. Will you consider, based on the reception of that in Europe, will Drew Estate consider making different vitolas here for the States of that blend?
It sounds like you did have a show with Anfan.
You'll never say never, right, Jimmy? Never say never.
That's it.
So we got a lot of stuff cooking. I'll just say that much.
But you always do. And when you do the cooking, all right, here's the other question.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you, Joe and Ryan, you guys are in the kind of the marketing and media and customer world, do you get involved at all in tasting new blends like what Willie produces? Do you say, hey, Willie, this is good, or Willie, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, actually 100%. And a lot of people on our team are involved. And not, look, Willie is our master blender, and he comes out with some fire blends, but that's for one man's palate. You have to be able to, get people's differing opinions on what a cigar tastes like. And, we have a team that gets, samples of things that have come up. Hey, what are your thoughts? Let's, I tried this, or we get a couple variants on a blend, and it gives a chance to us to give some input or feedback. And that's a really cool thing, that, get to see what's coming before we drop it to the masses, and, to have that input. And that was one of the great, cool, amazing things. Even one of my favorite stories real quick was when we had, it was for Anniversario. And when we were first tasting the leaf, that, the amazing wrapper, of the broadleaf Cabrito up there with the Criollo. And they were sitting there, we're tasting the puritos of of that blend. And you're just, of the wrapper. And you just knew immediately, like, this is something special, that this is a special cigar, or is going to be something special. And then tasting the pre-release after Willie blends it. And when Willie blends Liga Privada, that means something, that this is so unique and so powerful. And that was an amazing moment for us, that we really got to try that and to enjoy it.
And listen, you guys, there's a lot of new blood here. There's me, Joe. I mean, you're what, 2 years, 3 years now, Drew Estate, on Fonz, 3 years, going on 4. And look, everybody in this industry knows cigars take time to age. They take time to get ready, and the leaf has to be mature enough to be ready to produce a superior product like Drew Estate puts out. And some of the things that Joe envisioned and On envisioned when they was working with Willie a year into this, let me tell you, next year, there's some stuff that these guys are coming out with that's gonna be, you don't want to miss Drew Estate in 2021. From the digital shows that we're going to be coming out with, bringing back the barn smokers, the brands that On and Willie are working on with the people down there in Nicaragua. There's some stuff that's, you want to be part of Drew Estate 2021. You got to join us, because it's going to be fun. These guys get to put some stuff. I get the pleasure to work with them and try to make some swag to go up with the awesomeness that they've already created. And 2021 is going to be a fun year to be a part of Drew Estate. Let me tell you. A lot of stuff coming out that's going to be fun.
So Jonathan is sitting up in Sag Harbor, New York right now, I believe, and is dreaming up this whole 2021 concept of where things are going to go. When he comes back, he's going to give you the grenade. Huh?
There's always a grenade.
Well, there's always a grenade, but the thing is, he's up in Sag Harbor. But John, some people are like, well, what's John do on the day-to-day? The answer is he's meeting with us. John not only is the president
every
of Drew Estate, he's the chief marketing officer. So he's with us every day. We're sitting there, we're having conversations, we're planning, he's in the weeds with us. He's combing through every nitty-gritty detail that we're there. He's so hands-on, working with us, inspiring us, leading us to, we wouldn't have been able to do what we've done without Jonathan's leadership.
100%.
And, it's insane. And people are like, the amount of work that he puts in, nights, weekends, we're texting it. I'll wake up to a text from, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and then we're having 4-hour-long conversations to follow it. And it's just that passion. It inspires us. It keeps us, the fire burning at Drew Estate. And, and he's built the team around us and put us in positions to succeed, because every one of us is insane, because we are so passionate about what we do that we work harder for it. And it's under that, that leadership that he's provided for us. It's been inspiring. It's just tremendous.
Jimmie, Joe couldn't say it better. I think about this morning, Joe. I was sitting here and I lit up a cigar this morning, and it was a new Tobacco Dolce Lonsdale. And I lit that cigar up this morning. I went up to the store and I got a Cafe Con Leche. And the unique little store in my neighborhood here, they put sayings on the cup. And today's saying on the cup really had me thinking about Jonathan. And the saying was something along the regards of, challenge yourself to set challenges. And that's something John does to us every day. He challenges us to challenge ourselves. Is that fair to say that, Joe? I mean, he comes in and expects us to challenge ourselves for greatness, and he leads us there. And when Joe says he's with us every day, he's with all of us every day. He sees the swag. He reads every press release Joe puts out, every advertisement that hits the street, every cigar brand blend that comes across the desk. He's there every day with us, and he challenges us to do great things and bring great things to the market. He mentors us in a way that we need it. We need that direction, but we also need that chaos. We need that chaos of creativity. And he challenges that in us, and it's amazing. It's amazing to be a part of that and be able to work under someone who who strives to make his team great and is humble enough to do it and be humble and stay humble to let other people do interviews like this and come out here and represent the company and have the confidence in us that we're going to represent the thing that he worked so hard to create. And we're blessed to have a boss like that. I could say that. Joe, you said it really well.
And like you say, having his hands on, I can tell just by every press release that I receive from Joe, there's always a quote from Jonathan in there. So I know Jonathan's reading it, and I know you're saying, hey, John, here's the press release. We need quote for this one. And Jonathan is always going to give that quote. And everyone is special to whatever he's talking about.
Jimmie, not only will you get that quote, this is what we mean. That quote is like you said, some people go to the boss and they're like, hey, man, give me a quote. He throws something out. Let me tell you, there's not a press release. I don't even see the press release. It's Joe's department. But I can promise you, promise on everything, that there's not a press release that Joe hands to John that doesn't come back with at least a red line in it, Joe. He at least read the whole thing and he found out you missed a comma or you get a red line somewhere.
He's a lawyer.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. No, but again, it's about the greatness. It's about, hey, we want to make this better, and it's about the importance of telling our brand, telling our story, making sure that the consumer, the trade, everyone knows why are we doing this, because we don't do anything just to do it. We don't put out a cigar without a purpose. We don't put out a cigar without a reason, and that's one of the key things that we have to, we always think through. So we always use that in the mindset.
And that is what has always driven me to enjoy not only Drew Estate, but their craft, the cigars. Willie's blends have been spectacular all the time. I've always enjoyed everything he's come out with since he hit the scene. It's an amazing team of people, and you could see it in the following that Drew Estate has.
It's all in. I mean, it's great. Listen, Jimmie, it's greatness. The internal. It all starts from inside. One of the things working with Jonathan every day, we're not like a normal big company. We're a big company, and we operate like we're a mom and pop operation sometimes. When I say it, like, Joe, if we reach out to the CEO and you need help from Glenn, he answers. He has guidance. We call with the president, Jonathan. He's there every day. I mean, these guys are on the floor with us, grinding, and that's mad respect. I mean, it's so much respect from everybody in this company that they're always available and they're always there and they want to see us strive for greatness. And it's just awesome to be around it and to absorb that knowledge, to listen. We talk and we go in these meetings, but when they speak, and just listening to some of the greatness moments that they've been through, the trials and tribulations they can share with us and teach us how to strive to be like them or to be better than them, and show us their mistakes so we can avoid them. And it's awesome. It's so awesome to be a part of a team, a packed team from CEO to CFO to CMO. I mean, every one of these guys are just full of knowledge, and it's amazing to be a part of it.
So we'll come back to that in a minute. At this point, I want to just do a quick what's new in news and cigar reviews on Stogie Press, so you guys can watch this. And then we'll come back around and talk a little bit about that, and then we'll close out the show. So
I'm at the nub. I'm going to get another cigar.
All right, you go do that. So when it comes to what's new in news and reviews in Stogie Press, okay, so in the news this week, we put out out onto the Stogie Press YouTube channel. We've taken the post-process review on the interview with Maya Selva. This is one of my best interviews. I just adore this woman. She has been amazing for 25 years in the business. Also a electrical engineer. So that's you, me, and Joe. We're electrical engineers and we love cigars. Imagine that. So myself, if you haven't seen that interview, this article takes you right to the YouTube channel to watch that interview. It's a great interview. She came in from Paris, France. Her sitting area, her living room has the Eiffel Tower right behind her, which is absolutely freaking amazing. We just talked about this. This is what Ryan's been smoking. Drew Estate unveiled this new European exclusive, the Bauhaus. Absolutely beautiful cigar. You saw what Ryan was smoking it. He's enjoying it. There's a Connecticut broadleaf with a Brazilian binder and Honduran and Nicaraguan filler. Only available in Europe right now. You're going to get European dimensions, so we're using the metric system here. Not, nice packaging. Going aligned with the typical undercrown packaging. Very beautiful blue and gold, bold packaging. So maybe I'll find one of these someday, and I can at least check it out and let my European friends know how well I like that cigar. We also pushed out the episode 34 with Hack Coker from Trey Leone's Cigars. Very small cigar company here in Central Florida. Little family-owned company between two brothers of the leaf with family with young children. So they called it Trey Leone's. So if you haven't seen that interview, that's actually a nice interview we had. We had a few technical glitches during the live show, but the post-produced show looks a lot better. Another announcement coming through Drew Estate and Hoya de Nicaragua and Cigar Dojo is the Hoya Ninjaragua.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is the Ninjaragua. This is an interesting cigar now coming out, dealing with how to reach that highest rank on the Dojo verse. You get out on Cigar Dojo's app, and you get all these kind of awards and stuff as you post and do things. And they made a cigar to give credence to all of that. This particular blend here is a Nicaraguan Habano Criollo, Nicaraguan filler. So it's a Nicaraguan Puro, $8.95 a stick. Come in six. They come in these interesting 6-count triangular packs, so they can easily stack. Very, very interesting cigar. One of these days, I'll grab one of these and we'll talk about that. They did do an exclusive through Smoke Inn on December 4th, which was just the other day. There was also Patel. I think I talked about this last week, so this is last week's news. So that was the news this week. It was a light news week. We had a holiday in the middle of everything coming up. We just got off the holiday break. So when it comes into cigar reviews, first one we did was this one here I just put out was the HVC 500th anniversary Selectos, which is a Corona Extra. This is a spectacular cigar. HVC makes some amazing craft. For those that don't know that term HVC, the name of the company is named after the city letters for the airport at Havana. The owner of this company was born in Havana, but this is actually a commemoration of 500 years since they founded Havana, Cuba. And there's a lot of history I put in here about the founding of Havana, Cuba, but 1519 was the date, so this came out in 2019. 500 years of Havana. This one was a Nicaraguan Corojo 99 from Jalapa, a Nicaraguan Corojo 99 binder, and a Corojo 98-99 filler. All Nicaraguan blends, all coming out of Aganorsa leaf. Okay, so they've been forged a relationship with them for a while. They come in 3 different vitolas. The original one is the Thesaurus. That one is a 5 7/8 by 52. That was the original one in 2019. They came out with another one this year called the Selectos, which is what this review is about. And if you're a part of the Pravada Cigar Club, they have an exclusive with them called the Short. It's a little 4.5 by 52. I actually purchased these from Max's Cigar Lounge in Franklin Square, New York, as part of my mission to keep the lights on. And you could just see that, I mean, this is just a beautiful cigar. I mean, burn was beautiful, nice burn cone, a little bit of wave in the action there. But other than that, lots of flavor, floral. It was very Cuban-esque, and that's what Lorenzo tries to do. Had a lot of floral notes in this. Has a little white pepper start, had some cinnamon spice, savory, sweetness, got back to some more floral and sweetness and milk chocolate and spice. This was just a very pleasurable cigar. We gave this one a 96. The only thing we really took a couple points off was for the kind of a semi-flat burn cone and a slight wave. Flavor-wise, spot on. Draw-wise, excellent. Not a problem with this cigar. So if you could go find these, I would definitely recommend picking these up. The other one that we looked at was the next one in the line of the Stogie Nicaraguan cigars. This is a company that I'm watching very carefully. I've got sample packs from them. I've been going through their line. This one here, if you remember, the Habano came in the 96. This one came in the 91. This is a San Andreas wrap cigar. Beautiful packaged. It's got the nice cedar wrap on it. And this is the Mexican San Andreas with Nicaraguan binders and fillers. Again, they like to keep their prices down, so they're doing a good job of this. These cigars, the highest price is going to be a $9.20 for the Bellicoso. I actually picked these cigars up from the Underground Cigar Shop and Lounge, which carries them in Fort Worth, Texas. And you can just see it's got kind of an oily and kind of toothy wrapper to it. Well packed. Really nice burn. Gets a little off burn here. Lost some points on it. Overall, the flavor-wise, going to get hit with a pepper blast at the start of this with some savory spice. And then the flavors just keep rolling along. It's a very complex cigar as it goes through that. It's an hour and 40 minutes smoke. I gave this one a 91. Points that it lost was kind of a wavy, jagged burn and an off burn in the second, third, and kind of a flat burn cone. Other than that, flavor-wise, excellent. This is a 91 rated cigar. The next one we looked at was the Rocky Patel Winter Collection. Okay, this is something that Rocky Patel came out with, I believe, in 2018 or something. I got to remember the exact time. I'm sure I have it in here. But this is his latest rendition of this cigar called the Winter Collection. The Winter Collection comes in 4 different vitolas, ranging anywhere from $8.50 to $12.50, unless you're in New York, and then it's going to be a little more. I bought these from a company in New York, so it cost me a little more, but that's okay. Kept the lights on. Nice little kind of it's kind of a soft box press cigar. The burn here had a decent ash coming up, had a really nice ash cone at the end. Goes a little bit off after the ash cone falls, but it didn't need a touch up. It kind of followed its way. A little more, a little off, but it never really had a real problem. Where this cigar actually lost some points is the very beginning. Very beginning of this was a little harsh, okay, to start, and then eventually found its way into an earthy and pepper note. And then the rest of it kind of picked up from there. It had natural sweetness. It was slightly nutty. It had this beautiful maple syrup aroma. I get that on some cigars. I really enjoy that. There were some earthy nuances. And then those flavors kind of got harsh to get as it burned through the final third. And there was a slight touch of sweetness at the end. And it did burn a little hot to the touch in the final. So because of that, it was rated an 89. But decent cigar. Something you may want to check out. And I believe this last one was the Southern Draw Firethorn. So this is part of their fall releases that Southern Draw Cigars has done. This is the Augusta. We rated this one also a 91. This is a Bellicoso Fino. It only comes in 1 vitola. It's a $9.99 cigar. It had a nice flavor profile of cedar and cinnamon and cream and floral sweetness. It had some really nice notes in it. It also had this kind of Cubanesque flavor to it. This whole cigar is named after Augusta, Georgia, where the Southern Draw family, Robert Holt and his family served in the military out of the base there from Fort Gordon. And they kind of given credence to the whole city of Augusta, Georgia in this release. This is an Ecuadorian Habano Rosado with a Mexican San Andreas binder and a proprietary Nicaraguan filler. This is a lot similar to a normal Firethorn, but they tweaked where the blends go. I would say, personally, I believe that this cigar is a little less than I expected from the Firethorn. The previous Firethorn, the original, I think was better than this one, but this is still a fine cigar. Nice burn on this cigar, an excellent little ash cone. So overall, this one really lost its points on the kind of a little jag and an ash. The ash on this felt often. That's one of my pet peeves in my rating system. You smoke a cigar and the ash keeps falling every half inch. Kind of irritates me. So unfortunately, they lose a point for that. And it really just kind of had a medium volume of smoke. It didn't have that full body of smoke that you run out of a cigar. But if you like a medium volume smoke, yeah, definitely go for this one. So those are the news and reviews on Stogie Press for this week. Come back to the show. So before I got into that, we were talking about Ryan. You were talking about something. I forgot to make the note on it.
Well, we were talking about Jonathan, and we were talking about his leadership and how everything that's been going on the past few years that we've been able to rise up and meet these challenges. And we're talking press releases at the very last minute there.
Right. So you get these press releases. Everything you put out is just spot on. Whatever I get from you. One of the things about having somebody like yourself responsible for putting out press releases, where a small company that is a one-man or a two-man show, they have to do all this. Sometimes they get these press releases and I have to kind of weave through it and think about it and reword and do this. Your press releases are real simple. I take the press release, a couple word changes, a little format, the way I like to format it for my particular site, and boom, it's out. And the pictures are super high quality. I don't have to worry about putting them through Photoshop and trying to touch them up and whatever. It's just spot on. It takes me minutes to put out a Drew Estate press release. And I really, really appreciate that because my time is precious and I got a lot of things I have to do on this site. And that makes my life a lot easier.
Well, thank you for saying that, Jimmie. I appreciate that. And we put in a lot of work to that. And that's, I know we were talking a little bit before the show about that. It's like one of the things that companies can do. And I talk to you guys in the media pretty much every day. It's about putting your information out there, getting a press release, putting something and emailing it out, not just to one or two, but as many of the media out there as you can. It's,
right.
If you want your brand to succeed, you have to do that little bit of marketing of getting the information to as many people in as many hands, because you never know who's going to see it. It might pop up in one feed, but they're not following. They may not follow Stogie Press, but they follow Cigar Coop. They may not follow Cigar Coop, but they follow Half Wheel. You have all from everyone top to bottom that there's people that they follow. And if you want your brand to be out there, that's one of the things you have to do. And you have to make it easy for you guys in the media to get it up on your site relatively easy. You guys don't want to have to chase down brand owners that you heard about a release, and try to pull teeth for that. Right. And it's one of the important things. And that's just something that we've always strived to do, is to be as best partners with the media that we can, because, that's what it is. That's what a partnership is. It's about, what are your guys' needs? What do you guys need from us? And what can we help you guys with? And how can you guys help us? That's what it's about. It's that partnership and that friendship, and to make sure it's easy.
Now, you talked earlier about how all of these virtual channels that you've set up, and a lot of it happened obviously here to take care of 2020. You see those going forward at the same rate that they did this year, going into a post-pandemic moment?
Well, the world's changed right now. You have to look at it. COVID is not going to just disappear overnight. And a lot of the things that we've done this year, there's power in them. A virtual event that our territory managers host can reach so much more. We've seen stores that are now realizing that their customer base isn't the 20-mile radius, that their customer base, if they're willing to ship, can be anywhere in the United States. We have customers that they enjoy certain virtual events with certain reps. We've had, customers in Iowa ordering from stores in Pennsylvania because they like that store now that they would never have known about. And not only that, it's just interacting in the new world. Amazon isn't going away, but it's not necessarily going to kill the brick and mortar. You have to realize, how can I adapt? How can I change? And we're here to help you to do that by providing you these tools like our virtual events. And then things like sticks and sips, that's not going to go away, because we found the method that we really enjoy, talking to our consumers every week and sharing these cocktails, and sharing these cigar pairings and these stories. We're not, it's never, as our CEOs like to say, it's an and not nor. You don't, just because COVID's going to eventually, and fingers crossed, start to go away with the vaccine, but it's, why can't we do both? So now, in the future, you're going to see it back, we'll be back to the normal parties, the in-store events, but then you're still going to see these virtual events, because there's a lot of power to it. And it helps a lot of these retailers realize that the world is much bigger than just their local neighborhood. And that's a real important thing.
And I'm on virtual herfs like every night, different herfs, different groups. And I always told people that even after this is behind us, I might go to a shop and hang out in my local shop on a Thursday night like I used to do. And I come home at 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10 o'clock. You know what? I walk in my lounge, I sit down, fire up a cigar, usually watch TV. You know what I'm going to do? I go back over to this, say, who's herfing? And you're continuing the love, you're continuing the brother and the sisterhood to have this discussion and go on. And I think this continues. I think this is not going to go away. After the virus disappears, we are going to continue to have this type of engagement, because it's important for us as.
What I think, Jimmie, you say something great that you enjoy. I really touch on some key things. Take not just your state. Let's take this industry. This is a hobby industry with a lot of great people, and from the consumers to the manufacturers to everybody that works in it. And we are privileged to work in an industry that is our hobby. That's the first privilege that we have. And we get a great privilege to smoke cigars at work and smoke and be in this business. But at night, when we get done working, you know what we all do? We go outside, we sit down, we're done talking about Drew Estate, we've been done doing meetings all day, and we grab a cigar. It's crazy. It's our hobby. So I think when you look at these virtual experiences, it's just another way. We're already outside smoking. We're smoking with people we love all day, and we're going to smoke with people we love at night. If we can do it virtually, we can do it in person. We want to do it. We do this like it's our hobby. It's our living. We just are blessed to be paid to do what we love to do every day.
Yep.
And virtually now is just expanding on that passion.
And Bill Foley, one of the comments on the feed as I watch it, Bill Foley chimed in and he says, sticks and sips is the best thing to happen in 2020.
That's awesome. That is such a huge comment. And I know Bill's a big follower of us, but that's just such a great thing to hear, because look, when you're coming up with ideas, you don't know, there's no map that's going to say, oh, this is going to work. Whether it's a cigar, whether it's an ad, whether it's packaging, whether it's anything, or if it's a show, you don't know what's going to work. And yeah, you always start out and it evolves, it changes. But to hear that from someone who's passionate, tunes in every week like Bill does, like that just makes you feel so good, because that you're positively impacting somebody's life, that we're all having fun together in doing it. So Bill, thank you for tuning in. And if you guys haven't checked out Sticks and Sips, it's every Wednesday on Drew Estate's Facebook page. We do a live video, and then it'll be up on the afterwards if you miss it. It's 7 p.m. Eastern every week. It's hosted by Frankie Dranks, our cigar pairing specialist. He's the man. We have fun. We have guests from liquor companies. We have, Willie Herrera, Pedro, JD. We have different, TMs. We have store owners. We bring everybody in, and it's a fun hour and a half every week.
Joe, one of the other things that, Joe, I don't know what to talk about the Drew Diplomat app. Are these on there yet?
Going up this week. So you're going to see.
What is that?
So you touched, Jimmie, on I'll let Ryan talk on it, but you touched on the Nicaragua. Now
Yeah.
that sold out in 38 minutes. And I think on a large part, and not only did that release sell out in 38 minutes because of the cigar and the excitement behind Dojo. But Ryan, tell them what that is.
This is, I love making swag. Me and Gary and Eric and Taylor, we get to sit around and come up with swag concepts that we present to the team. And one of the projects that came across our desk was Hoya Nicaragua. And it's a collaboration with Cigar Dojo, one of the other media companies out there. But what's really cool about this project is that they have a sort of this ninja theme going on. And we created this throwing star challenge coin.
Wow.
And they were available with the bundles, but I know Joe Grow is going to have some up on the Drew Diplomat app. Joe, I think you're going to have a katana, a black steel katana going up there too.
Yep, they're both going to be going up this week. So all you guys, if you're already on Drew Diplomat, you're going to see them up there. If you're not on Drew Diplomat, download it from the App Store.
Turn your points in, man. These are hot.
Yeah, dude, they're already sold out. So there's no chance you're going to ever see these again. They're gone. It's done. So you're going to have a chance to win a few of these coming up, and it's pretty badass. So kudos to Ryan and his team on that. Like I said, he's been coming up. We're talking the Liga swag earlier, the stuff that I showed that you're winning tonight. These are ideas from Ryan, Gary, the whole consumer engagement team that they've been building out. There's some really hot shit, and we got more coming. Like it ain't stopping.
Love it. Absolutely love it. That's fantastic, Ryan. You guys did a great job on that. So we're coming up at the end of the show here. We started a little late, had some technical glitches to begin, but we got through that. I have one question before we close.
Do we get a question? I got a question.
Sure, you can ask anything you want.
All right. I have one question. I went inside to get another cigar. You got me out here smoking 2 cigars after dinner tonight. I grabbed the Herrera Esteli Brasilia Maduro. Phenomenal Toro. I needed a bigger stick after this conversation took off. So I run in the house. I grab the cigar, and my daughter, Jimmie, who you've met, and you've been gracious to meet my family and be with us many times. My daughter, Savannah's in the living room watching the show with my wife, Stephanie. And she asked me, why are you talking to Santa Claus? Have I been good or not? So she needs to know, Jimmie, because she wanted to know why Santa Claus was on. So how long have you been growing that beard?
I started growing this beard in around March, I believe. I did do a few trim here and there to clean it up, but the last 2 months I haven't touched it. So it's been since March.
Right on, brother. Like we talk about Drew Estate and the Drew Estate family. I know Joe Grow, you got a baby coming soon, and with our wives, they do a lot to keep us allowed to be outside smoking at 8:00 when I probably should be watching Frozen 2 or something. So, our families go big into this. I know, Joe, you have a wonderful family. My wonderful family's inside supporting you too, watching the show tonight. So much love to Stephanie and the kids. I appreciate everybody being here and her allowing me to be outside smoking with you guys. So
So you should tell Savannah to come out here and talk to Santa Claus, and tell her she's been a really good girl and she's getting anything she wants.
Not anything, brother. I got,
What does she really want?
I'm sure a unicorn pony with like rainbow hair. I'm sure.
No, I mean, what did she ask you? Seriously, what did she ask you for?
She hasn't. We went to the mall to try to get Santa, and it's a COVID glass, so we haven't had that conversation yet. But it's coming soon.
Well, you tell her the real Santa says what she wants, she's getting.
All right, I will do. She's coming because she heard us talking about her. Here she is. Come here, Samantha. Come here real quick. Hurry, real quick. Jimmie wants to say hi to you. No? Okay. Go back in the house then. Jimmie, hurry. Oh, you sound like Santa Claus. Come here, hurry. Come here. Say hi to Jimmie.
Oh, what do you want for Christmas?
Tell him what you want for Christmas so Daddy has to get it for you. Nothing? You don't know yet? No? Go inside with Mama. I love you.
That's it. So, very good, Ryan. That was good. Now, simple question to you before I close the show. You moved from Detroit to Miami. I'm not going to talk to you about NFL teams. You're wearing a Michigan shirt. You ever consider becoming, forget about the Lions. You ever consider becoming a Cane?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed this year watching the NBA playoffs. The Miami Heat went up against the Lakers. You know, it was very entertaining to be in Miami during it, especially during COVID with the bubble. We had the opportunity of reaching out with the Lakers and getting some cigars up to those guys. But just to be in Miami, I got to go out and see some really cool atmosphere here during COVID. And you go to the grocery store and everybody has their Heat jersey on, and the Pistons haven't been relevant in 15 years. So it was kind of cool to just see how a city overcomes so much obstacles, and how sports just brings the city together. It's kind of like cigars. You get together, you talk about a common bond, and you create peace in the world at a time when we need it. So it's awesome. And
So this show always goes through its own twists and turns. I have in my head things I like to ask, and sometimes the guest says something and it triggers another thought. Well, you just did that. How did you pull off this whole Laker thing? Boom. You got those. They're all smoking cigars. They're all smoking Drew Estate cigars.
hand grenades. Hand grenades. That's all I can say. Listen, we had a shop out here. Come smoke with us, cigar shop on Bird Road. Shout out to Jorge and Cruz, his wife. They're so wonderful. They've been on safari with us. They always take care of you when you're in Miami. They're right on Bird Road. They're always friendly to all of the Drew Estate staff. And he got a call. One of his good friends is a coach for the Lakers, and the opportunity arose, and he thought of us. And we appreciate that partnership from him and his family. And we had 24 hours to get cigars to the bubble. So, obviously with legalities, you have to sell them, and we had to get Joe Grow, and we had to get, so in 24 hours, everybody that was needed to be called was called. They all answered the phone at midnight. I mean, when Joe was telling you guys how we're always available for a hand grenade, that's the Drew Estate way. And in 24 hours, George drove up to the Orlando bubble. And next thing you know, LeBron was, they didn't win that night. It was 2 days later, but LeBron was smoking an Underground Shade on ESPN. It was a beautiful thing for us. And Joe and his team, Jack, they got it out there on social media. And it's just fun to be a part of stuff like that, man. It's really cool to be able to form a bond with so many people and so many different walks of life over a common bond, and that's the cigar. And we're able to be a part of that team that produces great cigars that brings people together. So it's really cool, man.
What would have happened if that grenade exploded and the Lakers lost?
Well, somebody just, they got to sit there and smoke a cigar and think about it. Might not taste it as good, though. Might have been a little bit more bitter than they expected.
That's good. Joe, you got any closing comments?
Jimmie, I just want to say thank you, brother. I always enjoy conversation with you whenever we get together, be it an event, be it at the show, be it anywhere. It's just, that's what this is about. It's the friendships that we have. I remember when we talked and I sent you cigars for your birthday because we're both November babies, we're Scorpios, but we enjoy it, man. It's friendship. And I wouldn't have had that without you. Cigars unite everyone from all walks of life. And that's just one of the beautiful things. And I really just enjoyed. Thank you for having us on tonight and to have this conversation, because that's what I enjoy. I just enjoy talking cigars, talking about life, and just enjoying everything and all these moments. So, I just want to say thank you, brother. And I appreciate it. And, thank you on behalf of Drew Estate.
And Ryan, closing comments?
Jimmie, thank you. Where you've been and where you are now, and where I've been and where I'm at now, and the journey we've done it together. Whether it was Don Yayo or Save the Leaf or now at Drew Estate. So this journey was ever going to evolve. I know you're going to retire soon. And when you retire, maybe you'll cook steak for Diane because she's got that kitchen turning out great food. But really, like when you retire, there's greatness to come. And I think when you can, when you put more time to this, and you've already put so much, you dedicate so much, but when you really get unhandcuffed and get to enjoy your retirement, enjoy this beautiful hobby, sky's the limit. I'm going to be part of the ride. I'm here at Drew Estate. I'm going to ride with you, and onward and upward, man, to greatness. It's going to be great. And just thank you for having us on, considering me and Joe and the Drew Estate team for this opportunity to talk with you and talk to our consumers and talk to your fan base. We'd love to continue being a part of it. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you. And I want to thank all the sponsors, Drew Estate especially, been behind me for a number of years, all my other sponsors that have taken care of me, all of my viewers and fans. Thank you for watching the show. Any new fans, get out there, like the YouTube channel, like Stogie Press. I appreciate that. It helps.
Follow Drew Estate. Download the Drew Diplomat app too. Come on, we're gonna win these
Drew
new
Diplomat
throwing stars on the Diplomat app. Get on there.
And just to give you before we just close, next week we will have the Protocol Gang on. We're gonna have Juan Cancel on next week. The week after that, December 19th, will be a very special guest that Ryan and I are near and dear to, Danny Vasquez. And we're going to talk about his voyage in this industry and where he's going. And if you know what I'm talking about, you understand. And we're going to close the year out on December 26th, the day after Christmas, with Honest Abe from Smoke In. And we'll be talking about the Great Smoke virtual event that he's going to be putting on in the beginning of 2021. Hopefully you got your package. I ordered mine. We're going to have some fun. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Joe. It's been awesome. Say hi to the crew down at Drew Estate. And when this is all done, I'm coming down to see you all.
Thank you,
Looking
brother.
forward to it,
Really
Jimmy.
appreciate it, Jimmy.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Jimmy.
so much. Smoke Drew Estate. D for L, boys. Get it.
Yeah.
Always.